40 meters above a swamp, inside a house built entirely from wood without a single nail, there's a fire burning. The Korowai of New Guinea weren't even contacted until 1974, and the outside world has called their secrets SINFUL ever since. But the deeper you look into this so-called isolated tribe, the more you realize they might understand us far better than we've ever understood them. To find them, you have to travel far into the lowland rainforests of southeastern Indonesian Papua, right where the Beking River twists through a massive, waterlogged basin. Picture this: a constant, suffocating heat hovering between 26 and 32 degrees Celsius. Every single year, up to 4,500 millimeters of rain pours from the sky, drowning the forest floor in endless floods and turning the earth into a leech-infested swamp where the air is so thick with moisture you can almost taste it. This was not some mystical choice to stay hidden from the world. It was simply the environment. The forest itself built an impenetrable wall of mud, mosquitoes, and dense canopy that kept outsiders away. When a Dutch missionary named Johannes Veldhuisen at last broke through this green barrier, he did not discover a timeless, mythical bubble. He had simply managed to cross a chaotic labyrinth of rivers that had choked off access for centuries. For the Korowai, this sudden meeting began a massive historical shift, turning their protective home into a frontier. But before the first steel axes or nylon ropes ever crossed their borders, survival in this wet, unforgiving world required a level of engineering that most modern minds can barely comprehend. It all starts with how they chose to build. While everyday family shelters sit at a practical 3 to 4 meters above the damp forest floor, the true marvels are the prestige houses. Imagine looking up to see a home perched 35, even 45 meters in the air, the height of a 10-story building. To anchor a structure that high, builders select a single living banyan or ironwood tree with a trunk diameter of 1.2 to 1.5 meters. They cut away the canopy, transforming the massive trunk into a living, vertical pillar. Now, how do you build up there without a single metal nail? It is a masterclass in load distribution. Crews of up to 12 men hoist heavy hardwood beams and split bamboo poles using thick jungle vines. They bind every single joint with hand-braided rattan lashings, which convert tension into shear resistance, wrapping the lower trunk to prevent axial slip. Woven bamboo mats form the floor, topped with layered sago palm thatch. To get up, they use a single notched pole ladder that can be pulled up at a moment's notice. And right in the center sits a stone-lined hearth floating in the sky. It vents smoke perfectly through gaps in the thatch, preserving the wood from rot. This isn't random survival, it is deliberate, brilliant architecture. Imagine looking down from that high bamboo platform into the pitch-black, whispering understory. Below, the wet forest floor is crowded with an active, spiritual order. The Korowai share this wilderness with Lalio, malevolent after-death demons that wander the dark soil, and Gagu, hostile forest spirits associated with sudden sickness. Protection comes from Tani, the ancestor guardians who watch over clan lands, while daily survival is tightly governed by Sabai, strict ritual taboos. Break a Sabai and you invite immediate catastrophe. A sudden shaking fever or a failed sago harvest is a physical manifestation of a spiritual imbalance. This unseen order explains the exact practices that have long horrified the outside world. Through the lens of Cambridge anthropologist Rupert Stash, we find that the sensationalized reports of cannibalism were actually a highly structured form of criminal justice. It was a rare, retributive funerary rite, entirely distinct from warfare or random violence. When a person was identified as a kahua, a witch destroying the clan from within, the community executed a serious, consensual legal process. By consuming the physical body, they neutralized the spiritual threat, legally restoring cosmic balance. This was an act of restorative justice. Patriclan systems and Omaha kinship organize every foot of this waterlogged forest, deciding who owns the land and who inherits it. Because space in this swamp is limited, there are no kings or supreme rulers. Instead, elders arbitrate disputes through slow, consensus-based discussions. They must work together. In a world this tight, open conflict is a death sentence. Even marriage functions as a direct survival alliance, serving to organize daily labor and secure peace between clans. To seal this agreement, a groom's family must pay a hefty bride wealth, typically 5 prized pigs and 200 kilograms of sago. Imagine that physical exchange. It represents a massive transfer of life-sustaining energy. For men who can manage the wealth, polygyny is common. Having multiple wives acts as vital lineage insurance in an environment with high mortality. It distributes the exhausting work of food production, ensuring the family survives the swamp's daily struggles to stay alive. To feed a family in this waterlogged wilderness, the Korowai target the sago palm. Picture a team felling a massive trunk, releasing a sweet, resinous scent into the humid air. They split the wood with a pale knife and pound the starchy inner pith using a stone mortar called a kasa. It creates a heavy, rhythmic thud that echoes through the swamp. After kneading and washing the pulp in river water, they steam the starch in woven tuma baskets. A single palm tree yields about 15 kilograms of pure, gelatinous starch, enough to sustain a household for a whole week. But starch is only half the battle. For protein, hunters carry long bows carved from flexible sapwood, strung tight with animal sinew. They drive tree kangaroos and forest birds into cooperative ambush points. They also harvest fat sago grubs, Rhynchophorus larvae, directly from decaying palm trunks, roasting them over the hearth for a rich, nutty treat. Even their home's architecture adapts to survival needs. Thatch roofs catch rain for drinking, waste is dropped into ground pits below to decompose naturally, and the notched pole ladder is pulled high at night, instantly transforming their treetop sanctuary into an impenetrable fortress. In 1992, the outside world established a permanent foothold on the forest floor with the inauguration of Yaniruma village. Indonesian state structures and Protestant missionaries moved in, pressuring families to leave their high tree houses behind. But the Korowai did not capitulate. Instead, they began a calculated trade, folding specific modern tools into their ancient survival systems. They used nylon rope to reinforce hand-woven rattan lashings. They swapped stone adzes for steel machetes, making tree felling 10 times faster. They bought plastic tarpaulins to seal their thatch roofs, outboard motors to speed up river travel, and solar panels to power small LED lights high up in the canopy. This was a tactical upgrade. They acquired modern efficiency while keeping their autonomy completely intact. Those solar panels and LED lights high in the canopy were not random gifts. In 2012, a clan secured them by charging a foreign film crew cash to capture staged daily routines. This is the real politics of the forest. Back in 2005, another family refused to perform a ceremonial dance for tourists until they received a motorcycle part. Even the infamous 2011 BBC staging scandal, where filmmakers had families construct a massive treehouse purely for the cameras, reveals a deeper strategy. Rather than being passive victims of media deception, the Korowai read exactly what outsiders wanted to see and traded their image for real, tangible resources. For them, performance is a valuable asset, ensuring they control the transaction every step of the way. As their forest shrinks, think about this. Who is truly civilized? The ones destroying the canopy, or the master engineers living in harmony with it? Which Korowai detail surprised you most, and which tribe should we explore next? Subscribe for more.